You are now tuned into the Anxious Ambition podcast, where you'll be hearing raw and unfiltered conversations with those who struggle with mental illness but refuse to let that get in the way of them achieving their dreams. Our hope is that by hearing their stories, you are inspired to do more. Here are their stories.
Anxious
ambition.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Anxious Ambition podcast. I am your host, Justin Allen, and today, yet again, another special guest, right? Today, he's a model, he's an actor, he's a rapper. In 2009, at just 19 years old, he took the leap to move to California to continue to pursue his dreams of making it. His journey hasn't been easy, though. You know, he had his struggles with mental health, whether it was depression and alcoholism. But, he's now 2 years free of alcohol, and I couldn't be more proud of him. You know, here to tell his story, Josh Pertler.
Hey, appreciate you for having me, Justin.
Hey, no problem. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah,
For those,
too long.
Yeah, I mean, for those that don't know, obviously they don't, but me and you go way back. We met,
Yes.
I was like freshman year of high school. Fucking what, B team basketball.
Bro, I remember my voice changed. I remember going through puberty, my voice changing at the lunch table sitting next to you.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, go way back.
Oh, yeah, you had a high-pitched voice.
Yeah, bro. No, we go back to, I was telling my manager, you were one of the first people, like, to mess with my music before, like, you know, I really ever, like, dropped anything. And that was, like, 10 years ago.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, so going back, I mean, the first thing I remember is, like, first meeting you and people talking, like, hey, this Josh kid, you know, because we didn't go to the same schools growing up. It was just like we met up in high school. So, hey, this kid's a model, right? And everyone was talking, oh, you know, he's a model. He's on, what was it? It was like a picture of you was it like a pair of jeans or something at like Kohl's. And if you don't know what Kohl's is, it's like the big box store, like Macy's, JCPenney's, shit like that. How did you get into all that?
My mom.
Yeah.
No, my first audition, I don't remember because I was like a baby, but Halle Berry's first movie, not her first movie, but she had a movie where she played like a single mother with I think she threw her baby in the garbage or something like that.
Damn.
And I auditioned for that role. So then I auditioned for that and then didn't do anything for a while. But then around like probably like 9 or 10, I told her I wanted to act and model. So she sent pictures in to an agent and they signed me and then started working around like 10, probably like 11 is when I first started
okay
jobs.
So you were acting too at the time, or at least like kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I did theater before any of that.
Okay.
So yeah, theater was the first thing that I did probably in like third grade.
Okay.
And then, but also trying to mix it in with sports too, because I was playing sports. But yeah, so they got me into that, and I was taking acting classes, but you know, I didn't book anything until the movie I did, like when I was like 17.
Was that Poker House?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I remember that. So.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned your mom. I mean, your upbringing. You want to tell everyone kind of about that? I know. I want to say your dad was out of the picture, but he wasn't around. Correct?
Yeah. My biological father, who he passed away last year, but
I'm sorry to hear that.
We don't. I appreciate that. He had leukemia, so we talked like when he got sick. You know, we weren't really close until later on, which is I mean, it's on him, but it was on me too. I was kind of just like, you know, didn't want to mess with him, but the person who I call my father, who is my father, Randy, who you've met, he adopted me when I was, I think, 7.
Okay.
You know, gave me the Pertler last name, you know, got me you know, it was crazy because I went from like not having that much to like everything said Pertler on it. My shoe said Pertler on it. My jersey said Pertler on it. So like, you know, it was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, he taught me how to swim, you know, took us out to posing, you know, took us out the hood a little bit, moved us to the south. Or no, we lived downtown in a high rise. And yeah, I mean, like, I talked to him more than he's like top 2 people I talked to, like the most. But yeah, so we lived in Gurnee for a little bit, and then we moved to Frankfurt when I was like 12. I don't know, maybe like, I don't know, 13 or 14, something like that. But
okay.
Yeah.
How was it? It was a good upbringing though. I mean, even though your biological father was out of the picture.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. My parents were good, but like I also had a career at 12 years old where,
Mm-hmm.
I'm auditioning for commercials, TV shows, movies. So I mean, I remember being like 12, like giving myself anxiety, just like knowing it's between me and a few people for a commercial, and then just like, sitting by the phone, waiting, hoping, just putting myself through like a bunch of stuff. So like I never talked to anyone about that when I was young. I kind of just, it
Mm-hmm.
was what it was. It was what it was. But yeah, I mean, my upbringing was good, but I definitely like, I put myself through. I don't know if I put myself through, but I went through a lot of stuff just like, personally.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like to me, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you probably felt a lot of pressure. Maybe you put it on
Yeah.
yourself or not. I mean, people were talking about you like, hey, Josh is an actor. He's modeling. Like that had to be, you had to feel that pressure. I'd imagine, right?
Yeah. It definitely wasn't like cool what I was doing, like to
It was
I mean,
different.
I
Yeah.
remember it was different, but I remember getting made fun of at a certain point
Yeah.
until I was an adult and then I'm doing like campaigns and it's like, it's different. But I remember like, I'm not saying I was bullied because it could have been, it could
No,
have
it's
been way
fucking.
worse, but
There
like,
was fucking haters. I mean, I was around
oh,
it. Yeah, absolutely,
oh
haters.
yeah, for sure. A lot of haters, but
Mm-hmm.
I think also I was naive, so I didn't realize that there were that many haters. But there. I think now looking back, there were for sure. Like there was a rumor that went around that people said that I was an underwear model, right?
I
And at
remember
this
that shit.
time,
Yeah.
I'm a kid. I'm like 15.
Yeah. Right. Right.
First of all, there's no 15-year-old underwear models.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember like being embarrassed. Oh, bro, I was always embarrassed. Even when I did the movie, um, because even when the movie came out, it wasn't really no one really knew too much about it.
Mm-hmm.
It took some time for it to be like, oh, okay. It took years for it to be like, oh, he's actually doing something, and or for me to actually feel it, because I was always doing something, but I got a lot of crap for it. So
Absolutely. So take me to like, you get through high school. At what point do you like, hey, I need to get out of here. I'm gonna go to LA and try to like really make it. So I'm assuming at this point, you've done little things, but I'm guessing
yeah,
you don't feel like you like made it at this point, right? I mean,
no,
whatever the hell that means.
I know. I
Right.
mean, at 14, I was trying to talk my mom into me and this guy that I modeled with. We
Mm-hmm.
were trying to talk our parents into like moving us to LA. Didn't work.
No.
Trying to for pilot season to audition for the TV shows and stuff like that. And they almost did, but they didn't. But once I did the film with Jennifer Lawrence, I mean, she wasn't Jennifer Lawrence then, but the other people in the film were pretty big. So at that time, for me, it was like once I did that movie, once I went to the premiere, I'm in LA, I'm on the red carpet, I'm seeing myself on the screen. I was like, oh, this is about to be easy. This is about to be easy,
Mm-hmm.
because like I mean, I wasn't that good back then. I don't think I was that good. I was okay. I was better than some, but like I wasn't that good of an actor.
I've seen the scene. I'll
Uh,
admit you were good, but it wasn't like, oh, this dude's like
yeah,
well
yeah.
polished. But I mean, you're also
Yeah, I
young
mean,
and
I was
yeah,
scared. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
sitting
right,
there
right,
scared, bro. Like I'm really, really scared.
right.
But it also shows that I mean, I must have been right for it. Just like with a lot of my auditions now. Some of the
Mm-hmm.
ones you don't think you get, the ones where I'm like, oh, I for sure didn't get it. Like the Super Bowl commercial I had, for sure, I would have put all my money. I didn't get it. Left that audition. I'm outside. I'm crying. I'm 28 years old, by the
Mm-hmm.
way. I'm 28 years old, crying outside of an audition, like I'm not going to book it. And then because I'm in the audition, I'm like, oh, the dude next to me, you're on TV, you're on TV, you're on TV all the time. I'm like, it's not going to happen. And then it ends up happening. So like, it's such a it's I'm learning. I'm still learning a lot about all this stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll probably get into it. But I haven't told you, but I just started therapy for the first time last week.
Good for you, man.
It took me forever. I should have done this years ago, but better late than never. But
Mm-hmm.
it's something that
It's gonna
I
do you
didn't want
well.
to do, but I'm glad. I've only had 2 sessions, but I could see why people do it. But
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so like 14, I knew I wanted to go to LA. Didn't happen. At that time, I probably did a few commercials. But yeah, after I graduated high school, I was gonna go to Columbia College. I was enrolled. I already
Hmm.
had like the building I was gonna live in, and then I'm just like, I'm not doing like I got to go to LA. So I went to LA. I lived with my cousin for like 9 months, probably not even 9 months, probably like 7 months, and then he kicked me out because I wasn't following any rules. Because
Mm.
in high school, I didn't really do any like drinking or anything, smoking. I didn't do any of that really.
Hey, you're
A
pretty
couple
straight
times,
edge. Yeah. Not like,
yeah, I was scared because if we got caught, bro, if we're in a picture, if you were in a picture all the
hey,
way in the back corner, you already know it's over. That's
I'm
it. You're
I
doing
got a
cross
story.
country.
I got a story for you.
Yes.
Bro, I remember, fuck, we were probably 16, 17. Do you remember when you bought weed? You bought some weed. It was like a little dime bag. And we're like in the locker room or something. You're like, bro, I'm fucking scared. Like, I don't want this shit. You gave it to me, and me and my buddy smoked it. But it was like fucking oregano or something. Like it wasn't, dude. It like wasn't even real. I
I brought weed to school.
yeah, but you like knew you like. I think it was like. I mean, honestly, I think it was like, hey, I'm gonna do this to be kind of like, hey, it's cool. I smoke. But then you're like, man, fuck this. Like, I don't want to hold on to this.
Once you said oregano, I kind of do. I don't remember. I would nah. You could tell me 10 stories about us. I probably wouldn't remember any of
Yeah,
them.
that's fine. I
But you
get it.
said oregano. I think you know what? I kind of do. It was literally not weed,
No, 100%, 100% not. I'm pretty sure.
right? Okay, I do remember that.
Dude, I mean, I was young too. I'm pretty sure we smoked it out like a fucking paper towel or something. Like it was, dumb shit. Sorry to,
Yeah.
I had to tell that story.
No,
Uh,
I appreciate it. No, I don't remember, bro. You could say name 3 teachers from high school.
mhm.
Couldn't do it. I can't. I think it's because I don't know if it's because I've like gone through some stuff where I just like
Yeah.
black some stuff out or not black it out, but like forget about it. But
Oh, sure.
or it's
Subconsciously. Yeah.
also yeah, or it's also because I've just met so many people, bro. So many people that
Hmm.
like yeah, I don't know, but that's a crazy story. My mom and dad are gonna be happy when they see this
Yeah.
one.
You're, hey, Mama Pert, though, he did give it up. He didn't smoke it.
No, didn't
And it
smoke
wasn't,
it, too scared.
yeah, it was too scared. It wasn't
And it
real.
wasn't even
So
weed.
it wasn't even real. You did probably
Oh,
spend,
that reminds me.
yeah,
Sorry, bro. Do you remember
go
that?
ahead.
Wait, do you talk about stuff you did too, or no? Really, not.
Anything.
You're not good.
If you're going to talk about what I think you're talking about, those
Um,
bunk ass shrooms,
yes,
we'll leave it at that.
yes.
We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. All right.
So, hey, so like you said, okay, so you were like straight edge, kind of not straight edge, but you weren't like the kid drinking in high school, like getting stoned before
No.
school and stuff like that. So obviously we talked about like, you did have a problem with alcohol. Like when did that kind of start?
Let's see. When did I move to LA? Right when I moved to LA, probably 2000. Probably my. You know what? I remember my birthday. My
Mm-hmm.
my birthday. I just moved out there. Um, I was with my. I'm not gonna say who I was with. I was with some people and like some guys and some girls. Everyone's older. Everyone's like 15 years older than me, right?
Because your
So
cousin, just so people know, your cousin's not like your same age. He's old. He's like 10, 15 years older, right?
no,
Like 40 at the
yeah,
time, right?
no. My
Not
cousin's
40. I
like
guess we were
he's
19.
15 years. It
Okay.
was
Yeah,
40 to
right.
us.
Yeah, right. Right.
No, he's probably like he's in his 40s now. But so I was hanging out with older people back then, and I wasn't even with him on my birthday. Luckily, because he would not have been happy. But like, we're on the beach. Where I'm hammered. Everyone, and we told everyone I was 21, so they wouldn't like question me being 19. I think I was turning 19, but I
Mm-hmm.
looked like 15. So like, but yeah, so like I remember the first few days, like my birthday, got hammered. Police pull up on the ATVs at Malibu Beach, and like they're like, bro, I'm thinking I'm going to jail, because they're smoking weed. I'm like, oh, everybody's going to
Yeah.
jail.
Right.
Ended up being fine, but I was always just like sloppy. I didn't have like, in high school when people drank and got ready for college and, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
do any of that. So like I
Mm-hmm.
went straight into it, and I drank, and went hard. I went to the hard stuff like right away, like it was bad. It was bad. Like I remember like doing drugs by myself in my bedroom, with like my cousins 2 rooms over, and I'm sitting there,
Yep.
like I was out of control. I was out of control.
Well, why though?
Sure.
Were you lonely out there?
Yeah, I mean, at that time, I was dating someone, but like long distance, and I couldn't deal with anything, bro. I couldn't handle anything, so I would just get drunk, bro. I would just drink, and yeah, I was just trying to forget about everything. And at that time, let's see, around that time too, I booked Beats by Dr. Dre, so I'm telling everybody I booked it, and and then like end up getting cut from it, and then I'm sitting in the car crying in the parking lot, and I'm just like, let me just go get drunk. So I mean, I got drunk for a while, yeah, just to deal with everything. And I still was working, probably more than most still, but not that much, but still. There's so many people out here that most people aren't working, like
Right.
booking jobs and stuff like that. So like I was still doing okay, but it was different going from Chicago, where it's like, oh, there's me, and then there's a couple people that look like me, to LA, where it's like everybody. There's 1,000 people who look exactly the same. And I'm also at that time, I'm taller now. From 10 years ago, I was like 5'10".
Okay.
So they were saying I'm too short too. So now I'm too short. They said my face was fat. I'm just sitting there like, no, for real. I'm too short and my face was fat, and I'm just like, oh.
Watch, if you're not watching the podcast, watch the podcast for a sec. This dude does not have a fat face.
Yeah. I didn't think I did. Maybe it was a little more whatever back then, but like,
boozed up.
I never heard anything like that before. So I just like, oh, that took, and they're like, oh, we'll still sign you, but like, you're gonna be on the bottom of the board. Your face is looking just a little filled out right now. Maybe I'm like. Yeah, no, I mean, but that's just how it is, But nothing compared to like what girls have to go through. Let me not even act like that was just the first time I ever heard anything that was like, you're not perfect type of thing. Which is,
you went from, being like the guy that modeled in high school and like everyone knew him and acting and stuff, and now you're just a dime a dozen out there.
Now I'm with other people that actually do it.
Yeah, and you're not. I don't want to say you're not. It's not as special. It's not like
Yeah,
everyone's doing it. So yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say at that time too, I'm coming off that. Okay, so I'm coming off that movie because I did it when I was in high school, and then Jennifer Lawrence gets nominated for an Oscar like 2 years later. So at that time, there aren't that many people that like have like a scene with her, like a one-on-one scene. So like it was dope, but it also, I wasn't ready to be in these auditions for like leading roles when I just, I couldn't even act in that film. So then I go from that to automatically, the manager I was with at that time, or agent, they're sending me out on like leading roles. You know, I remember sitting next to someone like no, like what was it? I remember seeing Kid Ink in an audition one time, right? This is years ago, right?
Yeah,
and I'm just like, I remember like what was I wearing? I was wearing like a Ram shirt, right? Or a Bear. No, I might have been wearing a Bear shirt. And he was like F the Bears or something like that, right? And I remember just being like, I should just walk out right now. I'm like, I should just walk out. Like there's no way I'm gonna get this, and that's how I felt, a lot of the times. And then, and I'm running with it too, I'm running with it at this time, I'm running with it. I ran with that until I couldn't run with it anymore, until it became like not a burden, but where it's like, damn, now it's been how many years since you've done that movie, and that type of thing. So
it sounds like they kind of skipped a league. You're still in the minors, and they're like, hey, no, let's go. Hey, she did this. You should be able to do this. And that's kind of, it's got to be, kind of deflating when you said it, you weren't ready for that. You weren't ready for a lead role. Ready.
Probably wasn't.
Go ahead. I was going to say, okay, I got to ask though.
Yeah.
You got to think about this, because it wasn't just Jennifer Lawrence in that movie. It was the girl from Kick-Ass too.
Right? Oh, it was like, it was her.
A lot of people that blew up. Like that movie wasn't.
David Allen Greer.
A lot of people. You ever think like, hey, what if, like, why wasn't I the one that blew up or anything like that from?
No. Well, here's the thing. Everyone else was already established, you know,
Okay.
like I
Okay.
was so new. Like the
Hmm.
girl from Kick-Ass, at that time when she booked that movie, it was crazy. I never even heard anything like this. She was 12, right? She was
It's
already booked for
crazy.
the next 4 years. For the next
What?
4 years of her life, no, 3 years. 3 years, I think. For the next 3 years,
Fuck.
they knew what she was gonna do. She had the she had like that's how it is. So like, you know,
Damn.
Jennifer Lawrence, they knew what she was gonna do as well. David Allen Greer, Selma Blair, they've been acting for like 30 years.
Hmm.
But I mean, did it go through? Oh, I mean, now I don't really think that, but like, did I think that before? Hell, I bet you I did. I
For
bet you
sure.
I'm like, oh, why am I not, you know, this, like, for sure. I mean, I always thought like, I was always like, you know, by the time I'm 21, you know, I'm about to be like superstar, blah, 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 you know, then you turn 21. It's like,
Same spot.
but yeah, I definitely was like, why? For sure. I mean, I did that for many years. Like, oh, I should be here, here, here. But like, yeah, there's more to it. But yeah, over time, I realized like I need to like step it up. I wasn't
Sure.
putting the work in, you know, I was just like turning up.
Yeah. And just kind of, I don't know, like still relying on that old scenes to kind of get you your opportunities and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, and also I was here. I mean, I'm here to act, but like,
Hmm.
what have I done more of? I've done more modeling, you know, and then more commercials more recently. But modeling, I booked jobs drunk. Sorry, sorry, old agents, but I used to. I remember booking a job, and they told me we knew you were drunk. I was like, I saw. I went to the audition, and I was. I'm not gonna say who I was with. I was with a bunch of people. Like I was with like it was weird. It was like 10 a.m. and everyone, most people, not everyone, but like a few of us were already drinking. Because to the point where the casting director was like, "I smell liquor. What do you guys? What are you drinking?" And I'm thinking he's talking to me. And then two other people are like, "Oh, we just had Bloody Marys. You know, we just had
Oh
mimosas. This and that."
shit.
And it was just like. So then later on, I see the casting director at a bar in Hollywood, and like I stumble on it, step on his toes, and like ham drunk, just like still sloppy. And like, hey, just so you know, bro, you know, I was drunk at the audition. And he was like, just so you know, we know you were drunk. And you booked it. And we're like,
Oh,
ah,
okay.
you know,
That's
like
cool.
it's funny, you know, or it's just like, oh, you know, I'm thinking this is the life. This is great.
Yeah.
But it's just not sustainable, you know, it's really not sustainable. It's yeah, and then, you know, after shoot sometimes they're drinking, you know, like smoking, that's more, not saying it's better, but like, you know, smoking, you'll see people smoking on set or whatever.
Hmm.
But yeah, like for modeling, I was okay drinking. I thought I was okay drinking. Acting, there's no way, like, bro, you have to be still. Like I
Hmm.
have to just be looking at you and not even be moving sometime just to try to yeah, just being still a lot is better than moving around. But if you're drinking, you know, or not there 100% or thinking too much, you know, like my
Yeah.
anxiety,
Kick your
I could
ass
be
out of there.
watching yeah, I could be watching a movie. I could be watching TV, and my this craziness that goes in my head, I will not even know what there's. I'm watching them speak, but I'm thinking about my own stuff. The whole scene goes by. I could have no idea, you know, what's going on. So that's something that I mean, I'm trying to. That's why I'm working with my therapist now. You
Hmm.
know, trying to. I mean, I'm just new. I'm newly 2 years off the juice. So you
Hmm.
know, I'm I'm learning a lot right now, you know?
Sure. A little more clear headed.
Yeah, a little more,
Yeah.
but now you got to deal with this stuff, though, you
See,
know?
that's what yeah, right. So, I mean, what kind of sucks is that the modeling, it's like they're almost like, hey, it's cool. If you're
Yeah, I mean, for the
at
yeah,
first though, right? I mean, if they were like, hey, you got to fucking stop right in the beginning, you know.
yeah. I mean, I had it. Well, let me just say this: I had an agent, Andrea from Model Logic. She's my agent now. She's been my agent since I was 16, 16, 15, something like that. Since I was a kid, you know. So
Hmm.
15 years, she's probably known me. One time, I showed up to the agency, maybe like 7, 8 years ago, something like that. And she saw me and she like the state that I was in, she was like, I'm gonna call your mom right now.
Damn.
You look messed up, you know? And like, I mean, it didn't stop me that, you know, you would have thought that would be like, oh, you know, but like it's definitely something where I was like, people could obviously see that I was, you know, like struggling, bro. I would have like 7, 8 gin and tonics before I'd hop on a plane.
Fuck.
I know. I mean, I'd have like 3. I'd have 7 to 8 the whole. So I'd get to the airport. I'd have like, however many I could have before, and then I get on the plane. I even knew, bro. I even knew if you want to get some free alcohol on the plane. I even knew how to do that. You know what? Because here's the thing: during the flight, they don't. You don't want to hit the thing. If you go back to the bathroom and you talk to them and you say, hey, I don't want to bother you, but I wanted to get another. So usually 9 times out of 10. They just hand you the thing and you then just let you go, especially if you're nice, bro. I knew all the tips and tricks to get away with that. So that was a problem.
At what point? I mean, I don't want to get to rock bottom yet. Not yet. I mean, your cousin kicks you out,
Kicks me out. I go back to Illinois.
And then this is, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, what happens now? Like, is this
heroin?
2010? What'd you say?
Yeah.
Straight
up.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Very, very short period of time. I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it, but like in LA, people do cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty. I'm not gonna say it's acceptable, but like people do it. At that time, I'm like 19, and I'm like thinking I'm cool because I was doing cocaine in Illinois. I get back to Chicago, or in California, I get back to Chicago, and like, I'm in a car, someone busts out this thing in some tin foil. Now, can I say that I knew it wasn't cocaine? I can't, but I bet you I did. I bet you I knew, but also I'm 19, So like someone like, takes it out, and then like, it was like it was bad. It was just that was probably, a rock. That was probably maybe rock bottom at that time. And at that time, people are passing away where we're from.
I was gonna say, yeah, if people
I know these people.
Yeah.
And at this time, like I was friends with someone, who passed away. And like, so I mean, and it seems like it was for a long time. It wasn't. It was very short, but like it was like it was so scary. It was very scary. Like I remember someone who I did it. Maybe I could count on one hand how many times I did it.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, right.
Maybe 3, maybe 3.
But
yeah, bro. I mean, I forgot about that. That was a pretty messed up time for sure. I didn't have, because here's the thing, I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't have a job, like I played sports and I modeled my whole life. So like I graduated high school, I didn't like get a job. If I was smart, I would have gone and got a job, or but for me, it's like this. I'm just gonna keep modeling. I'm not gonna do that stuff. So yeah, once I went back home, I didn't know what I was gonna do. And then yeah, that happened, and that probably lasted a few months. Yeah, it was bad.
So what happened after that? I mean, like you do all that because you do go back to California.
I do go back to California.
And why? Why did you go back?
Because I knew I was not going to be in Illinois. There was no way I could, like, I needed to leave. There's no way I was going to be there. I told my mom before, and she didn't like what I said, because I probably said it like not in a nice way, but I'm like, I'd rather be broke and homeless in LA than in Illinois. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I no offense to Frankfurt, but it's like, I couldn't, especially once, bro, it's hard to go and be like, it's hard to be on the red carpet doing interviews with BET and then go right back to Illinois. I'm supposed to just what? You know what I mean? I already know where I'm supposed to be. So it's like, I know where I'm supposed to be, but I can't figure it out. I don't know I don't know what to do. I don't have any money. I don't have, I came back out to LA probably with like no money. I moved back and forth maybe like 4 times over the years. But yeah, so like that after I was in Illinois and went back, I was just staying on someone's couch, just trying to, I lived on couches up until, probably like 6, 7 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was staying on someone's couch. I was there maybe for like a year, and then went back home. Started working at Legends. That was my first job.
Yeah, working at a bartender. Were you a bartender?
At a bar.
At the bar.
No, I wasn't. I was
you weren't
a server.
Even.
No, I was a server, but that was even more. I mean, bro, I'm popping 2 Xannies. I'm popping 2 bars, taking someone's order, going back, you're like, oh no, I don't remember. Having to go back and be like, what was your order again? Like 2-3 times, bro.
Yeah.
But I was so nice and so personable that like I did well. I never even knew it. I didn't know what I was doing, but like it wasn't that hard. So I was at Legends, definitely turning up even harder.
I mean,
And
what year is
then
this? Give or
2000
take.
and 2011 probably. No. 2012. 2012 or 2013. I'm working at
Okay.
Legends. Um, let's see. Am I modeling? I'm not really modeling. I'd have auditions, and I just wouldn't go. I'd just be done. Like I'd be getting drunk with my friends. Like I remember that the Blackhawks parade. One of the parades I had. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if it, but I had a big audition, everyone's going down. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go with everyone, and then I'm gonna just, turn up with you guys. I'm gonna go to the audition and then I'm gonna, come back. You know how that goes, just didn't show up. So very unreliable.
I mean, from the outside looking in, you were, I mean, you weren't as pleasant to be around back then, right?
What do you mean?
I don't know, man. You could just tell. You could tell you had your demons, right? You had, whether it was,
Now
I
I want
mean,
to know. Wait,
no,
like
I
even
mean,
back then?
maybe not back then. I'm thinking like maybe 12, 13. Like when we,
Yeah.
probably the last time we hung out in person, it was like, to me, I could, it almost, I don't want to say it felt like you gave up on the dream, but
I gave up.
it felt like it, right? It was like, because you kept talking like, hey, I'm going back to LA, going to LA. And it was like, all right, now I'm serving at the bar. And then I remember, I mean, I don't know how much you want to talk about this, but like when, you know, car riding on the rims.
Oh, come on, bro. I got music. It's in my song.
I know. I know. So
Oof, I'm like, what are you about to
no, no,
say?
no,
Oh
no, you're
yeah,
good.
that's all.
No, no,
Definitely.
but that was here.
That
I
was
mean, that was in
there. That was in
Illinois.
Illinois. I crashed a couple cars in Illinois.
Yeah. Do you want to
Yeah.
talk about,
No
I mean, like,
Deweys.
yeah, which is
Yeah, of
fucking
course.
crazy.
Yeah, I
But it's
would
probably
love
the
to.
worst thing that could happen to you because no consequence, right?
No consequences. Bro, I was so stupid. Okay, so here's the thing. Like, yeah, I mean, that's interesting because I never know what anyone thinks, what anyone thought about me back in the day. Because one, I don't talk to anybody, and
Mm-hmm.
not because like I don't want to talk to anyone. I was just like in a. For instance, I hung out with someone a month ago,
Mm-hmm.
a homie. Before then, I didn't hang out with anyone for a year, 3 years, unless I went back to Chicago. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm so like to myself that to hear you say that. I mean, yeah, I mean, I probably did give up, and at that time, the shows in Chicago started to be there, like Chicago
Mm-hmm.
Fire, Chicago whatever. So like I started auditioning. No, I had auditions for that show. I even messed that up. So I'm at Foot Locker photo shoot. I'm at a Foot Locker photo shoot for 2 days, and like one of those days, my agent's like, "Hey, like we need you to read for this role." But I'm like, no, we're going out tonight. Like, I'm not gonna read for this. Put it on self tape, put it on my phone, send it to him. That's the
Mm-hmm.
type of dumb. That's the type of like dumb stuff I was on. So I definitely gave up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. What was your question? My bad.
No, it was just I don't even remember. It was just like I just want to say from the outside going. I mean, obviously you've grown from this,
No,
but like looking
yeah,
back, like there was times like, man, this guy's a dickhead. What the fuck happened? Like I can't remember specific, but it was just, but you had your issues, and
oh yeah,
it was like,
yeah,
damn, I you know what it was is because I really saw the potential in you, and I feel like you
yeah,
said, like we were homies. I feel like we always something about me and you is like I think there's always like that entrepreneurial spirit of like wanting to do more. And
yeah,
I think honestly it was like, man, this guy's like just wasting this away. Like you had the opportunities, but let's go in full circle. Like this is like you definitely changed. Like let's get to rock bottom because to me now, I
rock
mean
bottom.
you're not sleeping on fucking couches anymore. You know,
Nah, I'm not rich, but
no,
I'm
but
not
there's a difference though,
struggling.
right? There's a difference.
I've, bro, yeah, I'm only recently. What 31-year-old is gonna say that they're only recently stable, monetary, like
Mm-hmm.
me, like secure. Most people aren't gonna say that, but yeah, I haven't. I wasn't secure all of my 20s at all. And like, and here's the thing, like, Yeah, like I for sure could have done more. Yeah, I was just going through a lot, but rock bottom probably.
Let me talk about the song. Let me preface this a little bit. So at this point, you're doing music, Stu. You're rapping. I
Right
want to.
now
I'm
or
well.
back then.
Back then, I'm thinking like, well, not back then.
So
You started putting out some songs. I thought it was pretty good.
yeah,
Obviously,
right.
it
Well,
wasn't
like the
perfect, but it was polished. You saw where it wasn't polished yet, but you see where it's
like
going, the potential.
typical Kings times, like back
Whew,
then or
shit.
more,
Damn, I forgot about those times. But I mean, I'm gonna say, okay,
but like back
what
then.
got you into music? Like, when did you start the music?
2000. Well, I mean, whenever the MacBook came out, 2008, when that,
Yeah, the fucking
because
garage
like
band.
when 808s and yeah, when 808s and Heartbreaks came out, and I saw videos where you can do the auto tune on the thing, bro. That's when I started right then and there. I remember like the first time I wrote anything music wise was like whenever Asher Roth came out with "I Love College." I remember writing "I Hate
Yeah,
High School." I remember writing "I Hate
like
High School,"
2008.
right?
Yeah,
For
that's
real, definitely.
awesome.
And, I was on that like I was on that type of vibe, but I started writing music probably like actually like 2000 like 9 or 10.
Hmm.
Whenever I went to LA, I started writing a little bit, but I definitely wasn't. It was okay. I think it was okay, but like I still have the same problem now. Whenever I think it's gonna sound like sometimes when it doesn't sound like that, I'm just like I don't know. But
Hmm.
with like filthy breakfast and all that, like I'm smoking weed in the my kitchen and stuff like that. Um, after like, sorry, go ahead.
Let me say this though, but that was like fake Josh.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
like that
that's what I
wasn't
wanted
you.
to be. That
Well,
no no
right,
no.
right.
Well
Oh, well,
oh
I
yeah
say this. You were doing like the rap shit. Like, hey,
yeah
smoking weed, partying, but
yeah
it
40s.
wasn't like like I mean, I'm seeing you
That
now, and
wasn't
it's
my
like,
lifestyle.
no, you weren't speaking like your truth. Like, you never smoke
No,
weed
but
in your fucking kitchen.
I had to ask my mom if I could roll tobacco in this blunt. Can I roll this blunt up in tobacco? I
Hey, mom,
swear
is
it's
this
not
cool?
gonna.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't like my stuff now where you listen to any the 12 songs I released, there's
Hmm.
nothing on them that's not like real, that hasn't like
Right.
happened or like it's all real. So yeah, I was definitely trying to find my like maybe I don't know if I was trying to find my sound. I was just trying to do like the Wiz Khalifa, Mac Miller type of
Hmm.
like vibe. And then I went to LA. I recorded the songs. And I remember this engineer who I don't know his name, but like worked in the industry a long time. The first thing he said to my friend, because my friend's the one that hooked it up with the studio, he goes, "Who is this guy signed to?" Right. So when he said that, and of course I'm not signed to anyone, but when he said that, it put
Yup.
something in me, right? Because at that time, so then I had the songs. I had the songs maybe almost a year before I recorded the video. I think like I had the songs for a long time. Um, I had the we shot a video. Yeah, we shot in the studio. I had the footage forever. I was just down on myself. I had the footage for maybe a year. And so I was like, you know what? Let me edit it myself. So I edited
Hmm.
myself. Both videos I just like put it together myself. I was really on that grind, right? Like at that
Hmm.
time I was trying to
Yeah.
work with other artists in Illinois in Illinois. And I remember like people not messing with it. Like I remember sending it to the people from Mouthpiece, all the homies, who I would say probably like my music now, but like
Hmm.
they're all older. They're in their 40s. So I'm sending it to them like, thinking they're gonna think it's cool. They did not fuck with it, right?
Damn.
So I kind of just like let it go. That for years probably. I recorded over I have like a bunch of bad songs.
Hmm.
But up until maybe almost 2 years, like right before I released that song, my manager said like, I don't know if I'm skipping any steps, but my manager said like my goal was for me to actually get stuff done was to drop one song a month and do that for a year. And
Hmm.
that was the first thing I've ever completed. Like I usually did not complete things. So
Hmm.
yeah, that was yeah. So in the process, like a lot of the songs I was not happy with. Because I would wait till the last week to do it, but I made that goal and I got it done, but I learned so much that by the 12th song, now I feel like I can actually make music. Back then, I didn't know what I was doing, but yeah, like actually put the work in because I didn't put the work in before, and okay, like I know I can do this.
And I think there's a lesson there, like even just like with a podcast, like I'm so like we're all, like everything people like you see Wiz Khalifa or whatever, and it's like, oh, okay, you see him up here, but you don't see the fucking 100 songs that he made that were trash. But he learned something
Yeah,
every single time that now he is what he is. And like even with you, I mean, well, you put out 30 songs or whatever it is. But then when you finally got clear headed, there's definitely a difference. So let's get to that. So rock bottom. Let's hear it.
rock bottom. Well, New Year's 2000, like maybe like 15, 16. Yeah, probably 16. I got drunk. I was on drugs, and I took my mom's car out brand new, and I crashed it. And I remember waking up the next day like I wasn't sure what happened. Like I woke up like, did something happen? And I just remember like,
Oh, damn.
and I ran outside, and my mom's car is just like the bumper's like gone. Was the bumper even there? There was a part missing from the car where I had to go drive back to Mokina because I was in Mokina at the
Mm-hmm.
time where I crashed, and like downtown, I'm not sure where I was at, but like downtown Mokina crashed. It was snowing out, and that was whatever. That didn't help my relationship with my mom at all because I was like an asshole about it. Like, yeah, I was just an asshole about it. And then maybe a few months later, I well, let me go back before. Maybe 2013, I crashed a car, right? And
You're crashing cars
I
and
was
like not
crashing. I
really
crashed
getting in
three
trouble
cars.
for it.
Never got in trouble because the police came. I crashed. Okay, yeah, I'll go back to one where I was supposed to go back. I was supposed to drive to LA the next day in 2013, but I went out with like my friends and we got drunk, and then like I drove home and I panicked. I think I had a flat tire, so then like I panicked and just started driving fast, and I just crashed, and like it was bad. And the police came the next day because they followed the rim marks all the way back 2 miles to my house, and they were like, we know you were drunk, but
Mm-hmm.
we can't give you a DUI. So that was bad. Did a lot of thousands of dollars worth of damage, AT&T bills. I knocked over like a bunch of stuff. So like that didn't stop me because the thing was I had court for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like two different court cases going on at the same time. Nothing like crazy, but like both
Mm-hmm.
like tickets and stuff like that. And my dumbass was like, so I ended up getting off on me crashing the car. I ended up just getting tickets because I left the scene of a crime or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I had another court case, and it was at Frankfurt at CD and Me. And long story short, I had a warrant that was put out for my arrest, right?
Okay.
And I was like, let's see, how can I figure this out? So instead of like turning myself in or whatever, I used my ticket from my other court case and I bring it there, and they're like, oh, you had a court case and you didn't show up. And I'm like, no, I did show up. I used and it worked, which was it was dumb that I even tried that, but I was like, let me just see, like, let me show, oh, I was at I gave it to
Mm-hmm.
her. It worked, got away with it. After that same night, I party with my friends. After court, I party with my friends. I'm driving home. I'm going down Route 30, and I pass LaGrange. So I'm by that Jewel over there. Whoop, whoop, whoop. They light me up. I'm drunk. Boom. It's I'm not gonna say the cop's name, but you probably
Yeah,
know him
yeah.
too. But we went to school with him. But like, so I get pulled over, right? He
No
didn't like
shit.
me either because we used to make. I think it's one of those
You gotta tell me
like
who he is after.
do
Don't
you
say it
remember
now.
this? I'm not gonna say, but do
Don't
you
say it.
remember those cops that we used to have at the dances?
Yes.
Right. So like it was I don't even know if I remember his name, but long story short,
Sure.
he pulls me over and a Will County cop pulls me over. And they're like, have you been drinking? I go, yes, but I'll do a breathalyzer. Don't know why I said it, but I said
Ballsy.
it. He goes back, he comes back, he doesn't have a breathalyzer, but he could tell that I've been drinking. So it's my lucky day, he lets me pull over. He gives me one phone call. No, he gives me a minute to make a phone call. I'm calling my homies who are drunk like an hour away, like an idiot. So then, next thing you know, I'm like, I gotta call my dad. Call my dad. Dad picked me up. So, you know, that was got away with that one. But yeah, so like 2016, I had an audition and then got home, took I think a couple bars and drank a little bit. And next thing you know, I wake up in Van Nuys jail. And I'm just like, I think I'm in bed with my girl, and I go like look over, and like there's a guy in a bunk bed
And this is in
laying
California.
next to me. This is in LA, yeah.
Yeah.
This is in LA. And
Fuck.
so I guess, you know, I guess technically, you know, I took someone's car when I was drunk, you know,
Allegedly.
and like allegedly, but probably. I don't remember any of this, but like, yeah, that definitely could have killed somebody. But yeah, I hopped in the driver's seat. I guess I just took off and I crashed, you know. And yeah, might as well tell the details now. It's already in the
Gonna
music.
say,
But yeah, so I was missing for like hours. Like my fiance is calling hospitals, you know, and at this time the guy comes back, you know, he's my fiance thought he was bringing me back because I was already drunk, but he came back by himself and he was like, "Where's Josh?" You know, like so they're luckily he didn't call the police, because if you call the police, if your car is missing, there's no ticket for that.
Grand Theft
You know,
Auto.
that's a GTA, that's a felony. There's no like, and then maybe after everything it would have gone down or whatever. But yeah, like I got really lucky because, you know, I was drunk driving for a while. Like we're just where we're from. Like, I mean, where we're from, we grew up. I mean, maybe not you, but like
But I get
my
it.
friends, we you know, we drive like we would drive home from the bars drunk every single time.
There's a
There
lot
were
of
no
fucking people that
Uber.
do that. A lot of people
Yeah,
do that.
still people
Mm-hmm.
still do it. And you know, like I did it a lot of times. I got away with it a lot of times. You know, I used to even be like, oh, you know, like if I'm not high when I'm driving, like, you know, like I don't drive this good. You know, it's just
Mm-hmm.
on that stupid shit where it's just like that's just how it was. But yeah, so that happened. Man, I mean, the cops said that I was like the nicest person they've ever arrested. So, you know, maybe that helped a little bit with, you know, I got some community service and whatnot, but didn't learn my lesson then,
I was
because
gonna
guess
say this
what?
doesn't sound like rock bottom, dude. It's not, because it. And what I mean by this is, it keeps happening, but
Where
you're
I'm like,
still doing
this
it,
is
right?
enough.
Like
When's enough enough?
what was it enough? Was it your lady? Like, was it?
I mean, yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely, because she had it, bro. I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
I pay the bills around here now, but she
Mhm.
didn't. She had to take care of me. She had to take care of me for a while. You know, I was an investment, a long investment.
Mhm.
So like, yeah, I mean,
Why'd you stop
I,
drinking?
because I was just in so much pain, physical pain, bro. I
Mhm.
couldn't go one day without drinking. I could not go one day. So at a certain point, so once I got the DUI, because that's 2016, I didn't
Mhm.
stop drinking until almost exactly 2 years ago. So it was about to
19.
be 22. So
Yeah.
almost, yeah, 19. So yeah, so there's a there's a period. So I would stop for a little bit, and then I would, you know, I'd try to go for a couple of days. I couldn't go more than like a day, you know. So there was a point where I was just like I need to. I was so mad that I just couldn't make it more than one day.
Mhm.
So then I make it 2 days. So for me, it was like, all right, I just got to make it 2 days. And at this time, I'm not an AA type of guy, and which is why, I mean, I wish I would have been. I guess I still could be, but like, you know, I wasn't. I had to do it. Okay, I went to AA before I got the DUI because my manager thought I should. I got in there. I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there with people who my mom, you know, was a part of the Manson family. She was one of the wives, and I was doing heroin at 11. To me, I'm just like, you guys are all like doing crack, this and
Mhm.
that. You know, I did like bad stuff back in the day. I'm just drinking, so this is fine. Like I don't need to be here. So left, didn't go back until I had to go back legally.
Mhm.
Um, and then I like in my DUI class, not the AA, I actually learned, like I participated. You know, people probably didn't like me because I'm raising my hand, you know, and like
Mhm.
so I was actually trying to learn, but I don't think I still wanted to really stop them. But what really made me stop was, yeah, when I couldn't get past one day. So I'd get past one day, I'd get to two, I'd mess up, go back to zero, and then like you know, every day I'm going to I'm drinking 6 beers a day a lot of times, you know, and not eating a lot either.
Right.
So for many years, I didn't eat that much. I just drank. I really drank. So when I quit drinking, I'd crave alcohol. Like I'd get hungry and I'd want beer. And that happened for
Wow.
like a long time. But yeah, so I did it on my own, which I would not suggest. Like I just would not suggest it. But I made it 4 months. And then I went to Mexico for a photo shoot, for a beer photo shoot. And we weren't in like Cancun, you know, we were in like, here, we have to pay you guys off. We have to pay you guys off. It was very stressful. We're in a bad situation. We're being followed for miles one time. It was not good. And long story short, I drank. I got hammered there. So I made it 4 months, and that feeling of getting home and like having to start over, that was the worst. That was the worst feeling ever. And then after that, that was it for me. Like that was it. Because I mean, think about it. One day was so hard for me to make. So once I got to 4 months and messed it up in Mexico, I was mad. But when I got home and had to start over, that was it. That was it.
Well, it sounds like that's like when you were ready to stop, because
yeah,
you got to be ready.
So,
it doesn't matter what everyone else says or the trouble you get in. It's like, if you're not ready, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I definitely I wasn't ready. Yeah, so even when I was trying to stop, I don't think I probably wasn't ready. You know, I was trying to, but I didn't have that, like, there was never that time until the 4 months where it was like, I can't do this again. You know, so
fuck. Well, I'm glad. Hey, I'm proud of you for getting through it, dude. For real. I know it's probably a constant, and I'm sure it's every day still. Do you still get cravings? No shit.
Nah, I don't.
Good.
I don't think about, like.
Is it because you don't want to be back where you were?
Nah, if I had I might have had one in the past like 6 months maybe, but nah, it's not like, it's not something. That's why, like, when you ask me, do I think I'm an alcoholic? To AA people, I'd probably say yeah, maybe because I don't want to offend them, you know. But like, I don't think I am. Maybe I am, but I don't think I am.
Okay.
I feel like, let's say at that time when I started drinking, to like when I came out here by myself and started whatever, if, let's say, I feel like it could have been something else. Maybe it could have been like cigarettes, or maybe it would have been like some other drug or something. Sure. I think that's what it was for that time. But maybe I am. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm not an alcoholic.
Right. I don't think you're trying to do that.
But because some people in AA would say I'm an alcoholic. Like, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, you know?
Right.
It's something where, like, I don't think about it. It was this a time in my life, and like that was it. But also, though, after watching the Anthony Bourdain documentary, he stopped doing heroin, like, just cold turkey. Most people don't do that. You should, or they say you should get help, you know, and he didn't. They say he never really dealt with, like, his issues, you know.
Yeah, right.
Which is like, that's what I've been doing. Just because I stopped drinking, now I'm what do they say, like a dry drunk, I guess. Like, that's what my manager said that to me sometimes, you know. So like, that's why I'm trying to figure out my stuff, you know, now. But yeah, bro, that 2 years, it's something like this though. I post because I don't want to post that how many days I have up, you know. That's why sometimes I'll take it down, you know, because it's just like, I don't want to be like, I don't know.
You should be proud of that though. Honestly,
I'm proud.
I know what you're trying to say. You don't want the attention. You don't want the, like, oh, look at me, I stopped drinking. But honestly, like, for me, and I'm sure tons of other people, like, you should keep posting, because it's not about you. Okay. It's about the people that are seeing it, that are struggling. And like, honestly, I think you should post more about it. I think you should tell people, like, I mean, all that shit you went through, it sounded like you were never going to fucking stop drinking. I mean, come on, right? I mean, you damn near almost got like 5 DUIs.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It just kept going. But now, like, to me, now you're in such a better place. Like, your music the music you've come out with, I think it's just so much clearer. It's way more you. You could feel the truth into it. It's not like, hey, I'm smoking weed in my mom's kitchen. You know, like, it's real shit. It's real shit. I think people feel that. And I think it just makes you the best version of yourself. And I'm sure you're not showing, you're not drunk at modeling stuff. You're not Like it's just the opportunity's really there, and you're not self-sabotaging yourself with fucking boozing and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if I would have booked one of the shows or movies that I've auditioned for over the years and got it, I would have probably messed it up. You know what I mean? And I might not have a chance that I have now because like casting directors, they don't forget, you know.
Mm.
You know, they do not forget. And yeah, yeah.
And I'm thinking about this now. I mean, like I know the age thing. I know people like everyone's running your own race, right? So it doesn't matter when it happens, like the success or feeling of making it. But like, let's say you would have quote unquote made it at 20, dude. If you had that influx of money with that mindset, bro, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. I hate
You
to say
wouldn't,
it, but like you were doing that off
broke.
ends meet. Yeah, broke, right? And have you ever being rich?
Bro, you should have seen me when that Michelob Ultra commercial. Every time that thing came on TV, check, check, check,
Yeah.
check. I never seen. It was, and I wasn't as bad as I could have been, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But I spent it. I could have spent it better, but like, could have been a lot worse. Because at that
Yeah.
time, at least, I was still. I wanted to stop. Like, I was in the. I was starting to. I think at that time I was already starting to stop, and then relapse, and then all that stuff. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's not. It wasn't even. It was a good amount of money, but like, it was life changing money. But like, yeah, not like being on a TV show. You know,
You
like at
weren't
that
over
time
a
when I got that
millionaire
DUI,
instantly, right? Yeah.
right? Like when I got that DUI for in 2016, I was already in my third audition, I think, for Power Rangers TV show. You know,
Come on, get
and
it,
like
dude.
no, at that time in
Oh,
2016.
oh, okay. Oh, damn.
Yeah, at that time when I got the DUI, and I'm not saying that's what stopped me. I wasn't gonna.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I was gonna get that anyway. But I made it further than I auditioned for that. The casting director found me in an elevator like in 2012 and was like, "Hey, where you going?" And I'm high. She was like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm flying back to Chicago right now." She's like, "Oh, well, I'm the casting director for Power Rangers. Like, can you come audition?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know." So I did that, you know, and then so like, yeah, bro.
It's
Damn,
not, I'm glad you're in a better place though, man. For real.
I am, but like this, like. Yeah, I'm in a better. I'm 100% a better place because I'm not drinking anymore. You know,
Yes.
but like
But you gotta
life
do the
is.
work. Now you gotta do the work because like with anything, you know, that 10 years of just, you know, getting drunk instead of facing it.
Yeah,
Fuck man. I mean, it's hard for everyone. I'm not like, dude, I do the same thing. Like I'm not in therapy right now, you know, but
right.
I have been, and going back's it's a hard thing to do.
When did you go? Like, when did you first go
I
though?
I first went I first went after I got married. And it was just like still had a lot of depression, a lot
Yeah,
of anxiety and things like that. And I mean, I would say that I still like have the same struggles that I have, but I know how to handle it better. I know how to understand it better. And that's like what I think therapy is going to do for you. It's like you're not going to just not have those struggles anymore, but you're going to understand it. You're going to get like, hey, this is just me. Hey, that thing that happened when I was a child, like
yeah.
from an outside looking in, I mean, you put pressure on yourself from day one, all
Oh
this
yeah.
pressure. And it's like, I can see how this happened. Right. Like,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, I'm just proud of you, man.
Well,
For real.
no, I appreciate it. And and when you were like, oh, I didn't. No one's ever said this, but it makes sense when you were like, oh, you said I was an asshole. I was an
Yeah. Cause
asshole.
people don't tell you the
Um,
fucking truth, dude. People are
yeah,
afraid to
yeah. I
tell the
mean,
truth. And
and also, yeah, I bet I was. Like for me, I always wanted to just make it seem like everything was good. You know what I mean? Because like even though it wasn't going well, but like that's something like yeah, it's something I am working on. Oh man, I'm not an asshole anymore. But like just like homie wise, you know, like I
mhm,
said before, like I don't talk like not my therapist like, you know, that's not like and I knew it wasn't healthy, you know, like even like, you know, people who are gonna be in my wedding and stuff like that. I don't talk
mhm,
to them. And if that's on me, it's not on them, you know. Like, I mean, it's no, it's on me because like, you know, you can only reach out so much until someone's like, you know, forget about it, you know. And that has been my thing, has been like, especially now that I stopped drinking, I just want to be by myself. You know, I don't want to go through stuff, but that's not healthy. That's how I was before. But it's like, you know, I'm in Fort Myers Beach and it's a straight spring break party, hundreds of people on the beach. It's crazy. And I'm just sitting there like, dang, like I don't want to be here. You know, I want to be where where there's not that many people. So like, yeah, I got a lot. Like, I'd be lying if like when you ask me how I'm doing, like, I mean, I'm doing better than before, but like, I mean, I'm always stressed out, bro. My therapist, like, he could say something, look at me, is like, I can tell you're a little worked up right now. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, come on, bro. You know, like, I'm
Yeah.
just not used to even this. This. I had to talk to my manager about this before, you know, because like I'm not in the best like place right now. You know, it's just, but you know, at the same time, I don't want to act like I am, you know, because I'm not.
But
Definitely not.
that's
Yeah.
honestly appreciated. I think the more like that's like kind of what I meant by like the asshole part. It's like, I don't know. I've always been good at like seeing through the shit. And it's like, hey, I don't like, everyone's like, oh, Pertler's doing this, Pertler's doing this. And it's like, but is he? And is it, I don't mean this like,
Well, here's the thing. I do more than 99.9999% of the people where we're
right,
from. So
right.
like I would use people would talk about things that I did, or you know, and to me I'd still, it took up until now for me people to be like, oh, you know, it's dope that you're in LA. You know, now people say it's dope that you're in LA. I mean, I did always say, oh, I hate LA, you know, I don't like the people, blah, 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 you know, but now I would be like, you know, the truth, you know, where it's like what's actually going on. But yeah, I mean, I've done more than most people that we know. So um, like it's like this though. I don't talk about, like, I have a lot of auditions. You know, I have to meet with my acting coach. I have a million things that I can do. I don't talk about, you know, a lot of that stuff. So even over the years, if it seemed like I wasn't doing a lot, probably wasn't doing a lot, but I've always still been going out on auditions, this and that. It's just more of like, oh, we haven't seen him book anything. I mean, for years I didn't book a commercial until the Michelob Ultra commercial, you know. But that also has to do with like the state I was in, you know. So like I'm still going on auditions and stuff like that for years. Not like maybe like when I was back home, not too much, but like out here, I'm always going out. It's just like I never did. I could have always done more, you know.
Right.
Always could have done more, and I just didn't.
Absolutely. I think that was
So I appreciate
frustrating. Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I need like I mean, I probably could have guessed that I was an asshole back then, but if you asked me, "Oh, how were you back then?" I wouldn't have been like, "Oh, I was an asshole." But it makes sense because I was like so all over the place, bro. Everyone's going to college, and I'm trying to make it. You know, everyone's in school, and I'm trying to like, I'm doing something. I'm seeing everyone, you know, like posting like at parties and stuff, and I'm literally sitting in an apartment, just like, dang, like, what am I gonna do? You know, so I, yeah,
I guess what I meant by that, I don't want to get like what I meant by like, hey, Josh is doing it. It's like, no, you're struggling just like all of us are. Right.
yeah,
And you were, but
yeah.
it maybe wasn't so visible, right? Because you said you just now
It,
started like talking about it. Like that was like, hey, no, he's good. He's doing all this shit. It's like,
yeah,
no, we're all fucking struggling. Like, even though we were in college or whatever it was and you were doing your thing, like we were all struggling. And
yeah.
it was like you wanted
It's embarrassing.
yeah, it's gonna
Not
say.
for real, definitely, because it's like, oh well, and think about it, bro. When I did the movie, I'm in LA, and then have to move back. I get kicked out and have to go back home. So you know, at that time, what am I gonna like? It would have been nice for me to be like, hey, everyone, I got kicked out. Now I'm back here. You know, for me, it was like, I didn't even like LA. It's like,
Yep.
like the people are fake, you know, this and that. But like in reality, it's like, no, like that's my dream. But like I messed it up at that time. So yeah, I mean, I was the best at just making it seem like everything was great. Well, I thought I was the best because obviously not, because
Yeah, but
you
I don't
know,
know.
that's what I thought, you know.
Yeah. No, but I also
Even,
think a lot of people think that. I don't know. I just got the
even
sixth
now people
sense.
think that. people think that I'm like people. Well, no, you know what? I've talked more about struggles now, so it's a little different. But I know like people still think that I'm living like, because here's the thing, people see me out here, so they see me like, every once in a while do. I mean, I've done some. I can't talk about it, but I've done some big jobs
Hmm.
lately.
Right.
That's going to be out next year, so it's like, yeah, it's like, bro, it's just been, yeah, it's just like it's been a journey, and that's why I had to talk to my manager. So I'm like, I
Hmm.
wanted to before this, I wanted to be real, but I
Hmm.
also didn't want to bring it like I don't want to lead with like, oh hey, how you doing, bro? I'm stressed out. I got anxiety. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to. I hope I book this TV show. I mean this movie, and I'm trying to do all these different things. So like, and he was just like, well, you just need to talk about it instead of just being like what I normally was, like
Exactly.
normal Disney kid, where it's like, hey, I'm Josh. Like, what
Yeah.
do you want me to? I can be this. I can be this. That doesn't work. Like that's just how I was raised, like as a kid actor, was just to be like, not be you. And then now it's just like I need to just be me and be real. But I also don't want, people to see it and think that I'm weak. I'm not that I think they're gonna think that, but like that's
I
also in my
get that
head.
though.
Me,
Hmm.
casting directors, think about this, like I posted the 2 years. Then at that time I had a callback for a TV show. Didn't get it, but um I posted that I had 2 years. I took it down because for I don't want and then yeah, I don't want like a casting director to be like, oh, is he a liability though? Even
I
though I'm
get that.
never gonna drink again, but it's just like, but then like you said, people need to see it. I've had people from back home say, hey, I can't stop drinking. And like I appreciate you posting that stuff. Like that was to me was amazing. Never thought that would happen. So
And probably not the person you thought it would be too that reached
no,
out.
not at all. Yeah, not at all. So like because I started doing the vlogs, but then I stopped and I'm like, I don't want to be that the old out the alcoholic guy, So, but yeah, I probably will talk about it.
I just
I
think
just don't want
this,
to
like,
seem,
yeah,
yeah,
you're not we okay, like here's how I see it, right?
yes, please,
Especially nowadays, the realer you are, the more relatable you are. Because otherwise, who are you? Just some guy in a commercial. Like,
yeah,
why would someone root for you?
mm,
You know what I'm saying? And like I like for
yeah,
me, like I obviously I'm not in that business. And I'm sure there's still some, and there's still some sleazy motherfuckers in that business that are gonna see, maybe even whatever. If they see this, or they see your post, like, oh, we can't have his liability. But all you need is that one guy that believes in you, that maybe he has his struggles. It's like that's like the whole part of like this podcast and everything. It's like you see, we all have these struggles, but it's how are you still going to pursue your dreams, which you are. It's not like you
yeah,
gave up. You're out there and
yeah,
like speaking your truth and like it's commendable. And I really think that, I mean, like I said, yeah, some people might hate it, but people probably think I'm weak because I talk about depression. It's like, you think I fucking chose this?
right, yeah,
Honestly, like
yeah, I
being
feel you.
vulnerable, like you're doing now, is just one of the strongest things you can do, in my opinion. It's like for me, as soon as I started talking about what I was going through, it's just like a weight off your shoulders. You feel like you don't have to, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like if I'm at work or something, you still got to kind of, put the face on and do all that shit. But like
Hmm.
when you can not be fake, it's like fake it all the time. Like, dude, it's so much better. And I think like you're just gonna be better.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I yeah, I think I might feel better already talking about it a little bit.
Good. I feel like we had a therapy session today.
I know, right?
Hey, I want to talk a couple other things though, because
Yeah.
like we just talked about, like pursuing your dreams. What are the goals right now for you? Like, do you have any like big dreams? Whether like, and what's kind of your focus right now? You have like the model, acting, rapping, the music thing. Like, what's kind of the focus for Josh right now?
Music and acting. I mean, the modeling is cool. It's. I mean, it's great. But not no buts. But it's just like. I mean, I've done it forever. I'm probably gonna model for the rest of my life. But model as, okay. For instance, I did a photo shoot um, for this um, for this company, and I'm in a studio. I did a photo shoot finally as Pertla, not as like, oh, Josh Pertler, you know. So it was different. Um, I'm just so used to people just knowing me as a model. So I used to always lead with model.
Hmm.
I don't, because that's the last thing on my list. But yeah, so my goal for 2022, I want to book a guest star role um on a TV show. You know, I go out for bigger roles sometimes, but the smaller roles too. So that's really what I want. Um Also, I have a project that I am starting to work on. I'm not gonna act like, oh, I'm in the middle of a blah blah blah, but you know, I have
Right.
5 songs that I'm working on that I'm gonna drop as a project, not as, you know, single. I'm also
Okay.
shooting a music video next week for Van Nuys.
Awesome.
In 2 weeks, I'm shooting with this production company in Chicago. So
Cool.
that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean the acting, modeling, music, but yeah, I really just I want to book a TV show or a movie.
Yeah.
That's my goal. And I mean I know I can do it. You know, I mean I think I book everything that I go out for. I think I'm perfect for, you know, but like that'll also drive you crazy if you're like, oh,
Hmm.
this is mine. Now I just do it, whatever. But yeah, my goal is for I really drop more music because I never promoted it. You know, I never all those
Hmm.
12 songs that I released. Um, some people have heard it, but I never like pushed it or anything like that. So with the new songs I'm going to be releasing, I'm going to also have videos for my old songs.
Hmm.
Because I know people are like, oh, you need to drop the video when you drop the song. I'm going to drop it when I want to. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like if you look, not that many people have heard that song, so it's going to be new to a lot of people.
100%.
You know, yeah. So I'm gonna videos for my old song, video for or work on my new music, and yeah, bro, I mean, I get coaching for one-liners, like for a one line where it's like, you forgot your bag, or I'll get.
Hell
I
yeah.
pay for coaching. I see my
Yeah.
acting coach for that. Before I used to be like, oh, I don't need to, you know. Man, I didn't put the work in. What I'm doing now is putting the work in, and um, yeah, it's paying off. What's been cool is having people mess with my music. You know what I mean? Like, or my agents not knowing that like this is you type of thing. Because most people, if you look at me, you hear me talk, you hear my music. I mean, it's not like it sounds like me, you know, but like
Yeah.
you wouldn't expect probably sometimes people wouldn't expect me to be like rapping in the way that I am, especially since they haven't seen me like
Hmm.
really rap too much. Like they only hear songs. So that's 2022, man.
Cool. I like that. Um, Before we kind of get into our last couple questions, how do you, so obviously, I mean, not obviously, what I'm seeing is like, okay, the alcohol obviously was, masking, whether it's your anxiety, depression. I'm sure it was a vicious cycle too. I mean, even like now, like if I go drink, like I consciously know the next day I'm fucked. Like my depression's worse, my
Mm.
anxiety's so much worse. So like that's like why I drink, but I don't drink as much. Honestly, I just smoke a lot of cannabis and shit like that now, medically, whatever. That's what I've kind of drawn to. But what do you do now? Like when you're stressed, you're anxious, like do you do like yoga, meditation? What's kind of what's in the rotation?
I do yoga. I used to do yoga. I used to have a class once every Friday. Don't anymore for the past few months. And I could tell a difference when I'm not doing, like I do it on my own,
Hmm.
but when I'm not there, well, Zoom, but when I'm not in class doing it for
Hmm.
an hour, I could tell a difference. But you know, my therapist is like, "What do you do when you have like, what are your techniques for when you know?" And I'm just like, you know, I have techniques. I don't use them. You know,
Hmm.
like whenever things are bad, you know, I'm not square breathing. You know, I'm not stretching, doing yoga or meditating. You know, I'm not doing those things. Like recently, I've been really, really stressed, and like
Hmm.
I know what I'm supposed to do, but like I just won't do it. Like, I'll be hungry, and I'll just be like, I have food, you know,
Hmm.
but I'm just like, I don't know, and it's not a normal thing. This is more. I haven't been like this probably in like a couple of years, where I'm at now. But yeah, I have things. I have like things I can do. I just don't really do them. You know, like so. which is why I'm a therapist that's
Absolutely.
showing me techniques. I'm like, and I'm actually excited. Like when I never thought I'd be excited to hear one to speak to a therapist, and then to hear him say like, I'm going to teach you some things that you can handle, you know, like when something happens, because that's my thing. It's my reacting. I don't react the best, you know, in real life. And then also I guess acting too, because acting is reacting. If
Yeah.
you're not listening to somebody, if you're all over the place, you can tell. Like if we're doing a scene right now and you're talking, I'm thinking about my next lines. So I'm not listening to you. You know, I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next. So I'm trying to figure out how to just, you know, actually do the things I'm supposed to do when I am in a bad situation. So I've done the square breathing more recently.
I
But
love
yeah,
that.
doing
Yeah,
them
that's
in,
a good one.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
good one.
doing it when I'm struggling is a struggle. That's the thing, you know, because I'm just like, then I just want to do nothing. If I'm struggling, bro, like right now, I don't do anything, you know. But when I used to before, when I used to not want to do anything, I wouldn't do anything. Now I still do the things I'm supposed to do, but it's like I don't want to. So I mean,
Absolutely.
it's better than not doing it, but like, yeah, bro, and right now December it's pretty much like dead season for auditions and stuff
Okay.
like that. I mean, right now is Super Bowl commercial time, so I mean,
Let's get it.
that's kind of stressful too. But like, yeah, yeah, I'm not doing. Long story short, I'm not doing the things that I'm supposed to do when I'm in a bad place because I'm not doing that right now.
That's fair. But I'm going to say
Yeah.
this, like what you're saying though is honestly, I really like this too because, honestly, some of our other guests, it's like they got all their shit together when it comes to like their mental health. And what I mean by that is like, hey, they know the techniques, they know, but like you're in the stages of learning. Um, and like, I'm going to give you some examples and I'm sure you can relate. It's like that depression or anxiety takes over and you don't want to, you know, you need to do like you just said, but you don't want to do it because it's not like knowing how to do it is going to make you motivated to do it. But it's like, I think once you start doing the therapy, you're going to learn like you need to instill some like non-negotiables, like things you just fucking
Mm,
do. Like every morning when I wake up, like I journal and I hate it.
damn.
Every like,
Wow.
don't get me wrong, like I've there's been times where I stop because you get like whether you're like so depressed or whatever it is, but like every morning, like 5 minutes before I even like touch my phone, anything, like it, but when you do it and like a month from now, I'm gonna be like, damn, I'm glad I did that because I'm better now. And even let's be honest, this podcast, right? We've been trying to do this for a while. I'm sure there's been times where I've had to reschedule from, whether I was having a really bad day, but like with this, that's why I was pushing so hard for us to do it because I had a fucked up day. It sucked. But like doing this, man, like I feel so much better already. Like I'm sure you feel good.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure you were stressed and anxious about coming on, but like
Yeah.
let's be honest, right? And like it's the hardest part, but it's like, hey, I know I got to do this. And it's also not like, hey, I should do 40 fucking things right now because it's going to make me feel better. It's like, no, like start slow, do one thing, you know, every day and like just make some non-negotiables that is going to make you feel better, whether maybe not even today, but like a year from now or months from now. So just a little
Yeah.
piece of advice, I guess. Is it? And
Yeah.
it's hard, man. And that's like we're
Yeah.
all like that's why I love this because we are like people listening like this is real. Josh has his
Yeah.
struggles, I have my struggles, and on non-perfect days like we're still pursuing our dreams. You might need to take breaks, we might need to like slow down at times, but like, and it's okay to completely rest. Like if it's like, hey, fuck it, like I need to rest, but doing it every
Yeah.
day, that's when you get in that
I
cycle.
did that for a long time, brother.
Mm,
For a long time. Yeah, this was I feel good now.
good.
Not just right now, but like this whole time I've been doing this. But
No,
yeah,
no, yeah.
I was nervous before. And I don't know why. I'm not sure why. Maybe
It's
yeah, like I said,
anxiety,
I want
bro. You don't need to know why. It's just shit just takes over.
um I used to tell my mom told me a few days ago that when I was younger, or like 5 years ago, she told me that like in my mid 20s, she would be like, "Oh, you probably have like anxiety, depression." And I used to tell her like, "It's not real. That's
Mm-hmm.
not a real thing. You know, like that's just like a made up thing." Like that was only like 5 years ago that I said that to her. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and like probably thinking more like, oh, it's just me, it's in my head. I can just like snap out of it. But like I realized like, I could until watching that Anthony Bourdain documentary, I said
Mhm.
I'm never gonna drink again. Like before then. After watching that, I can't say that because I don't know what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Can't say that. I can say, I mean, I know I'm not, but like I
Right.
don't know I'm not because
Right.
who knows what's gonna happen. So like that's scary because like he didn't address his problems, and then like 50, 40 years later, one bad breakup, and it's like,
Mhm.
that's it for him. That was it.
Right.
And I don't want, something like that.
But you're doing the work though. Like you
Yeah, I'm
said,
doing it now for
like,
sure.
and I don't know that situation entirely, but like it seems like he still had those demons and didn't address them. So
You should watch the
um,
documentary,
I know
bro.
I
It's
gotta
on
watch
HBO
it.
Max. I'm not even like a fan of his, but it was just like it was on the airplane, and I'm just like it was for people who struggle with depression or anxiety. It's a great documentary to watch. Sad, but it
Hmm.
made me think like I'm not. I could say I'm good, but like that's what I think in my head. And every thought that I have is just because I just make it up in my head. I don't usually go by facts or
Hmm.
this. I usually just think this is probably because I don't talk to anyone. So I just think of things in my head. So I appreciate you, man, because this was great.
Happy to hear that. I'm glad you came on, man. I knew this was gonna be good. It's
Yeah.
good for you, good for me. Um,
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't know, I was gonna ask, do you think that you'll be back in therapy ever again, or is it something that like you'll do if
Yeah,
something like
no, I do. I do. I'm gonna cut you off. I do. I just think I got to be ready for it again. And that's the thing. It's like I know I definitely will. It's just when and when I'm ready for it. Like right now, I do feel so like I'm in a better place. I do a lot of self reflection now, um, but therapy is definitely something that I honestly think everyone should be doing it. It's just like one, you gotta be financially ready for it, which I know I've talked about before with other people. But that me just saying that right there was a fucking excuse. I will say that because there's always someone out there that's gonna do like we'll do like pro bono or sliding scale where they
right?
don't charge you as much. But no, I will definitely do it. It's just when probably honestly, like if me and my wife have kids, I'm sure I'm gonna want to get in there because that shit stresses me out and like I want to be a father, but it's like, dude, I know that's a whole other thing that I want to address some things before that happens.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah. Yeah, I thought about that recently. Like, well, before therapy, I was like,
Hmm.
oh, man, I'm ready to have some kids. Let's do it. And then I'm just like, I'm not. I'm obviously not because I'm trying to take care of myself,
Hmm.
still. So yeah, my therapist said that he doesn't believe I should be there. He doesn't believe people should be in it forever, which I'm not
Yeah.
sure. He's my first therapist, so I don't know, but I'm loving it so far, and yeah, hopefully he hasn't given me. We're still starting, so I don't have all the techniques yet that I'm gonna learn. But yeah, I need to because yeah, I'm struggling, bro.
I hear
I'm
you.
struggling, but
Well, if
but
you,
I'm blessed
yeah,
too, though. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I mean, I just shot a commercial like 3 weeks ago. I'm blessed, but like
but that
doesn't mean I'm
doesn't,
not
yeah,
struggling.
exactly. And I think
Yeah,
that's like a main thing I like to take away from people out there. It's like, we talked about, and Josh might have been a little playing it down. I mean, he lived in a fucking mansion, big old house with a Bernie Mac was your neighbor, right? And I'm not saying like this, I'm saying like this shit can happen to anybody. Like, don't judge
yeah,
somebody. Like he just said, hey, everything's good. Like, he's booking gigs and stuff, but like, I'm doing good too. Like, I've never been more like, best years like financially, but my anxiety and depression don't like, oh, okay, hey, we're good now. You did it. Like it just
you got the
doesn't
money. We're
anybody.
good.
It can happen to anybody. Like it just doesn't.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want to, I want to wrap this up and we've been here a while.
How long?
Fuck,
Do you know?
over an hour, give or
Oh
take.
wow.
Yeah, at least. I mean, it's hour 30 already, probably. But
I'm with it.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm thinking, going back to that day where, you woke up in the jail cell you can go back and tell yourself something, but what would it be?
Well, my first thing I would say, I want to say stop drinking. That's the first thing I thought of, but that wouldn't do it. That didn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. That wouldn't have done it. When I'm in the jail cell,
I mean,
probably when
rock.
I'm
I
gonna
mean, like,
die,
yeah, like your deepest point, man. Like, I mean, give yourself some
bro. Like I
advice. But
couldn't. Like I some advice. You're going to die, so you need to stop right now. Like if I had any advice for people, period, would just be like, don't drink if you can't handle it. Some people can't. Some people can do like work.
mm-hmm.
Some people, like my brother, for instance, perfect example. My brother went to, went to ISU, was still able to like, have fun and get his work done. Graduated, he's one that now has a great job at Amazon, and
Mm-hmm.
he still has fun and able to do both. I wasn't able to. There was no mixing for me. Some people can go and I'm gonna like go out and like meet people and like whatever it's called when you
Drink
what's it
socially.
yeah, but like when you networking, there we
Yeah,
go.
sure. Yeah.
No, I was never good at that because it was like, oh, if there's any alcohol involved, just throw it out the way. I'm just gonna be talking about. I'm gonna repeat the same story like 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like if I could go and change one thing, I would have changed me drinking. I would have like maybe just smoke weed or just like I just wasn't. And then also I'll say that. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I will say this.
Yeah.
I didn't work out for almost 10 years, right? And so like I lived a straight up lie because people would look at me and you see a six pack, right? And they're like, "Oh, you're in the gym every day." I wasn't in the gym, Now I take care of myself now, I've gained some weight, put
Good.
a little bit of weight on, but I literally was the definition of like living a lie. You know what I mean? Because it was like, oh, everything everyone thought I was doing, it wasn't that. So like, yeah, I would just don't if you can't handle it, don't drink. That's what I would say to people.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Where can people find you at?
Oh, you could find me www.joshpertler.com is my website.
Okay.
On Instagram, yes, sir.
Okay.
Finally took me a minute to get that one, but I got that. You can find all my music, Pertla, Pertla, on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. Pert Pertla. Um, and yeah,
All right,
I don't
Josh.
post. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm no, I'm not posting too much, but see, you can tell when I'm gonna just give away a secret. You
Yeah.
can tell where I'm at up here with my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't seen me post for a month or a few weeks,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty odd. Like my manager knows. Like he knows. Okay, he must not be in the right headspace right now. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I
But that's
think,
my yeah.
yeah, and I think if you are struggling right now with alcohol issues and like that, like honestly, I think you should reach out to Josh, not to like for advice exactly, but like you're not alone out there, people. Like this is
Yeah.
millions and millions of people struggling with different types of addiction. But like, I'm so glad you came on here and spoke your truth, man. Like, I know that's fucking cliche to say, but it's the truth. Like, you're being real. Like, this is a real Josh. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Do you think I was gonna hold back a little bit or what?
I thought you would a little. If I can crack the egg.
Probably did. I probably did. I might have. I might
Yeah,
have.
but
No,
that's
you cracked it
fine
for
though.
sure.
But that's, I mean, like, you still like you said, like you're in the beginning stages of like healing, right? Like, and there's so many people that hear people's stories. They're like, oh, I'm here. I'm ready. Like, I'm good. It's like, no, like, there's a beginning to this, and like a lot of people are going to relate to that. The last question I
Yeah.
got for you is, how do you want to be remembered, Josh?
Ooh.
Damn.
How do I want to be remembered? Not as an asshole like I was before.
No.
Now I want to be remembered as probably like, because I mean, I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, but like I feel like I know how good I am, acting, making music,
Mm-hmm.
and I know like I want to just be seen as the best actor, musician, and model. Like I want to be everywhere, and also and what I'm trying to do with my music, I'm not really cursing. I'm not talking about bad. And I love I mean, I love music, all music, but like cursing and it's fine. But I want to be remembered as I'm making music for like everybody, the people who are like struggling, And I
Oh,
am. But I want to be remembered just as I know what I don't want to be remembered as. I don't want to be remembered as, like the person that, could have done like, oh, you could have been this,
mm-hmm.
because when you said it earlier, you said like, I used to think that like, oh, you should like, I could be doing so much more.
Mm-hmm.
That's so real. I mean, it's like but like it's so real because it's true, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to like regret like not going too hard. So like I just want to be remembered as someone that just goes hard, and I can go harder. I'm not even going,
Mm-hmm.
too hard. So yeah, I want to be remembered as just someone that is a hustler, that's just doing everything and anything, and also like I want people to remember like, oh, this is what he used to be and now he's here,
That's
because
what I would, yeah.
no one talks about shit in their 30s. I'm in my 30s trying to make it. I'm 31 years old still trying to make it. There's 18-year-olds who just came out here, boom, became superstars. I'm not. So I want to be remembered as, like I didn't give up and I just kept going.
Absolutely. That's it right there. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not the best. You don't like,
Yeah, because I already think I am, so it's like I don't
yeah,
need
but you need to
like
think like that. And I think people are gonna maybe take that as like whatever. But if you're gonna be, if you want to even be successful in something, you do need to think you have the confidence and be the best. But I think what people are really gonna remember you for is now that you're, being real about what you're struggling with. It's like, hey, this motherfucker did it. And even if, and I don't know what did it means, but it's like you are still going for it. You're working for it. It's not, you're not giving up. Whether
yeah.
you're 65 and you book something, it's not about when.
I
It's the
mean,
fact that you're going for it. You know what I mean?
yeah, just real quick, like I've
Yeah.
been posting someone I look up to, LaMonica Garrett, and he is on this show called 1883. He was a mouthpiece
Mm-hmm.
back in the day that I did. I mean, he's 40, he's in his 40s, and he's finally getting his shine. You know what I mean? He put so much work in. Like he he was an athlete and played, I think, some in the NFL. So he had that mindset of just working hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
He might be probably closer to 50. I don't know, in his 40s. But like most people, if you told them, hey, you're not gonna make it until you're 45 and you're 20, no one, no one's gonna be like, most people aren't gonna be like, all right, let me just wait for
Mm-hmm.
25 years.
Yeah.
I might be 50 years old, I don't want to be, but I might be. And it's like seeing him and like seeing that's such motivation because like he's now one of the leads on a TV show. He's been
Mm-hmm.
leads on other shows, but like, I mean, bro, like no one talks about like, I mean, people do talk about it, but it's more embarrassing to talk about. I'm in my 30s and I'm still trying to go. I might be in my 40s still trying to go. So it's just do not give up because it's not too late. It's really not too late.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me. I messed up a lot. So
It's so important. Like people see, especially now with fucking social media, how it is. You just see these, whether it's a kid or some old dude, and it's like, oh, they got it like that, but you have no idea. You never think of like how they got there or when did they got there. Like there's stuff that always goes around. It's like Colonel Sanders, I think was like 65, and
mm-hmm.
he pitched that idea, I think like 1,000 or 3,000 times. But like
Yeah,
you never see that and be like, damn, that dude, it took him to 65 to make it. It's like, no, like J.K. Rowling, I think she was in her 40s.
right.
Like
Yeah.
I think, and I think for you too, and like even for me, like I've I had these visions of like, hey, by 25, I'm gonna be this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't shit, you know what I mean? But then like every year, like now I get older, it's like, man, like just keep grinding. It doesn't have to be a sprint. It's some people sprint, some people it's like, it's a marathon. Especially I think when you have struggles, it might take a little longer, but who cares? It's all about the
Yeah, just
journey,
don't
right?
quit.
It's the journey. Because when you get
Hmm.
there, what is it?
I mean,
It's all about the life.
I've seen people go from, like, I've witnessed and
Hmm.
watched someone be like kind of on,
Hmm.
and then be like girls crying when they see him, and and like then still seeing that person be the same person they were before, but they're not also seeing all that work that goes in. Like, I don't know if you
Exactly.
saw the Mark Wahlberg documentary, bro.
I
He
heard.
is on the way to his, it's on HBO Max. He's on the way to his premiere, and for a movie premiere, and on the phone with his agent, and then boom, has to help his son with his homework. He's doing all these different things and doing all these. I'm like, damn, like, I don't do that. I'm not even bullshit. I don't do that. I need to be, I need to be doing that. He's not complaining. And he wakes
Hmm.
up at 4 a.m. to 3:30, 4 a.m. to work
It's
out
like
and
three
before he gets his
o'clock,
date.
dude.
And then he's not complaining. But like, then it's like, you're not seeing that. And if they
Hmm.
don't show that, we're not going to know that, So yeah, that's just, man, so much stuff is just motivating, bro.
Absolutely.
Just don't give up.
Absolutely. All right, bro. We got to wrap this up.
All right.
I just want to say thank you for coming on. Thank you for saying all this stuff that you've never said publicly, maybe even
Of
ever,
course.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
right?
I thought it, but
Yeah, it's if you're struggling out there, like uh, it, there's still hope. Like there's still hope to get the help you need to get to those goals you're looking for. Like don't let the main thing like with anxious ambition is like don't let those struggles define you. And I think like, like what you said about posting, it's like, oh, there's Josh, he's the alcoholic. Or, oh, there's Justin, he's the depressed guy. It's like, no, like that doesn't define me. It's part of me. It's part of you, right? But it's not who we are. It's not who we want to be remembered as. There's so much more in life, and opportunities are there. And if you just keep going and keep working, like the universe, God, whoever you believe in is going to help put those opportunities there when you're ready for it. Like you weren't ready for a lead role at 17. Who knows where you would have been? Like, damn, who's
not
this
here.
guy? Right. Like maybe it would have been over, like it's just like, take life how it is. And once again, like if you're struggling out there and you can relate to Josh, I'm sure he wouldn't mind, sliding his DMs and just, you know, talking to him about it, because I'm sure it would help him too. Right.
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely down to talk about it. Also now, because of, I mean, everything that's been going on, like in the past couple of years, everything's Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
AA now. People need to go to
Really?
AA. You don't have to. Yeah,
Wow.
yes, because that was the first thing I thought of, or maybe I heard, like when everything got shut down, was like, what's going to happen to the people that have to go to
Wow.
AA or have to go?
Yeah,
They stopped it, and then and I've heard stories of people, relapsing over
I'm
during that
sure.
time with
I'm
everything
sure.
going on, and then not being able to go anywhere. But now, yeah, you can be on Zoom, you can be in AA. You go online, you can find AA, free AA, obviously
Mm-hmm.
Zoom, and like you don't have to show your face. You can just
Yeah.
talk. So there's like, I mean, and luckily I'm blessed. I didn't always have insurance, but like I got a better insurance now where they cover, at least Kaiser Permanente is covering the copay.
Oh,
I don't have
wow.
to pay anything for my therapy.
That's amazing.
So like there's definitely ways. And then also if you don't have insurance, a bunch of different churches and pastors do free counseling as well. Like, even I don't know if, even if you're, I guess if you're not religious, that might not be well, but might not work. But yeah, like there's definitely options for sure.
There's options. Like I said, like don't let the money be the reason why you don't get help, because there's free options out there. There's people that can help guide you in the right way. Like you said, the churches, um, there's always something out there. You just got to look, you got to do the
Yeah,
work. Like that's the
yeah,
thing too. You didn't hear Josh say like, oh, he's good now, stop drinking, everything's good. It's like, no, now he's got to face the demons and do the work. Like life is, it's a long journey. And
yeah. And thanks for doing this podcast, bro. Just in general, I mean, I love all the stories, but like specifically the guys too. Not to be like, oh, women are important, but we're not really talking about that stuff.
100%. I'm glad thank you for saying that, by the way. Like, that's why, like, this whole season, I really wanted to have all guys on, because it's not like I'm like all, guy power or whatever. It's like, it's an issue. People, like, men are not talking about depression, anxiety, mental illness, because they're afraid to be labeled. But like I've said, I think being vulnerable is one of the strongest things that we can do as men. And we all have emotions. It doesn't matter your background. We've all had struggles in our lives. And, just thanks again for everyone for listening. It's really, it really means a lot. And thanks again, Josh, for being on.
Yeah, of course. Have me on soon. I'll be back.
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Anxious Ambition podcast. You can find us on all podcast platforms. Follow us on Instagram at Anxious Ambition. You can actually watch this podcast over on YouTube. Lastly, check out our website, anxiousambition.com, where we have all of our merch, and a portion of every sale is donated to NAMI, and it helps support the individuals and their families who are suffering from mental illness. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, take it easy.
Anxious Ambition.